Hi Scorpio, this is Muertero Chris. Welcome to the Guard Owl. Today we're going to be doing your monthly general tarot card reading for the month of November 2020. I pre-shuffled the cards, so we're going to jump right in. Silence I ask of the Holy Kindred, sons and daughters of La Santísima Muerte, high and low. At your waist, fallen mother, I will relay the things unspoken of, forgotten and kept in secret. Heat and cold, as I walk through this home, a far scene which rise in tarot. All right, Scorpio, so crowning your month of November 2020, we have the Emperor. Below that, crowning cards are the High Priestess in reverse, the Hermit in reverse, the Alchemist, otherwise known as the Magician, the Fool, and the Star. Below those crowning cards we have the Three of Wands, the King of Cups in reverse, Prince of Swords, Two of Wands, and Queen of Swords. Let me go ahead and show you the spread without the glare. Okay, so for some of you Scorpios out there, we have the Emperor card crowning your entire read for the month of November 2020. This is mostly speaking and giving off the vibe about really just staying headstrong in some decisions that you recently decided to make for yourself. Whatever decisions those may be, I don't see you breaking from them at all. So very confident, and also a vibe of having to deal with a little bit of strategy in making the decisions that you have made, whatever they may be, but also a sense of conquering them by the end of November. And that is what we're getting with your main crowning card for the month of November 2020. So following all the weeks of November 2020 coming up, let's see what's going on around them. In the family line of things, we have the High Priestess in reverse, crowning the Three of Wands. A bit of sense of kind of like some insecurities within the family unit, and just kind of wanting to break away. For some of you Scorpios out there, you know, the birthday season for you has come. And for some of you Scorpios that celebrated your birthdays, maybe you have gone out of town on your own little kind of retreat, maybe with the family. And it was something that was very much needed, but still getting a sense of needing it for yourself. Quite interesting, because I just did a reading for Libra, and Libra kind of had the same frequency going on, and so I'm kind of getting the same type of vibe for you Scorpios out there. With this Three of Wands, this is you just kind of like, you know, you've already gotten to where you need to be for a little bit and taking a vacation, and maybe possibly being dropped off and watching everybody else just sail away, and you saying your goodbyes like, I'll see you soon, but I ain't going nowhere near everybody. So definitely with this High Priestess right here, staying in your power, but at the same token, just kind of taking a breather. Really trying to regroup yourself, a bit of self-preservation going on for some of you Scorpios out there. That's a good thing, because a lot of you Scorpios really do need to do that. A lot of you Scorpios, you take on a lot of responsibility. That's something I really, really do respect about the Scorpio sign. Scorpios tend to be very responsible, very forthcoming about making sure they meet goals, especially when goals are put in place on them by others. Scorpios are very, very good about reaching the high expectations that are demanded of them. And you are definitely exemplifying that in the month of November 2020. Beginning, going back with this Emperor at the beginning of the tarot card reading for your month of 2020. But at the same token, trying to regroup yourself. And it's a perfect time for you to do it with the scamdemic that's going on. It actually does give a little bit of more time for some of you Scorpios out there that are working from home to kind of just be able to not so much veer away from work when work needs to be done, but being able to, exert or expedite some of your responsibilities when it comes to working from home, so that you can actually leave more time for you to be able to relax. So expediting work from home within the family unit, in the family unit, and around family, so you can have some time for yourself. And it's definitely much needed for you Scorpios. So definitely look into trying to expedite whatever projects, whatever work responsibilities from home that you have. Try to maneuver yourself in a much faster fashion, so you can leave more time and space for you to kind of just relax. Okay. Moving forward, we have the Hermit in the reverse over the King of Cups in the reverse. So for some of you Scorpios out there, you may be dealing with maybe a type of Virgo energies around you. And this is falling in the social line of things. Crowning over the King of Cups, moving forward from this High Priestess over the Three of Wands, really not wanting to deal with too much social activities, whether it be online or at home, and with this Hermit in the reverse, not a bad card if it's in the reverse. I don't see it as bad. It's just more so of a sense of like the Hermit kind of being to themselves, but yet kind of still staying a bit social, because he comes out of the cave, out of his cabin and whatnot, and socializes, but in the reverse, just really retreating within. And it's riding over this King of Cups in the reverse. So really just, it really is, it's carrying on a high volume of frequency of just wanting to be left alone, but not being rude about it, not being condescending. As some Scorpios, sometimes attitude-wise, they come off a little shady, a little shifty to some people. And that's because of the way the Scorpio is. Scorpios are not really about, frolicking around the bush when it comes down to getting statements forward and understood. A Scorpio says what a Scorpio wants you to understand, and they say it right the first time. There's no beating around the bush about it. And that's exactly what's going on with some of you Scorpios out there. You're not beating around the bush. You're staying in your power. You're expediting some things in order to leave more space for yourself, in order to retreat within yourself, like this Hermit in the reverse, and really not wanting to deal with so much. So I'm getting some of you Scorpios just kind of like going into your home sanctuaries, if you will. And, this could be a bedroom for some of you spiritual, Scorpios, tending to your personal altars at home and dealing with your spirit guides and getting more in tune, especially around this time, or recently after Halloween. The veil, so to speak, as they say, has been lifted. And so this is the perfect time, especially for those of you in the Latinx communities that practice, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, and so on. After that, still trying to communicate with your ancestors and bringing in those messages and tending to the altar. For those of you in the Latinx communities that keep the altar going all the way into the new year for them, really spending time. And that's a really big trait of the Hermit. It's a very spiritual card. So deep introspection, and just dealing with the self, replenishing, very similar to what I had with the Libra reading. So Libras and Scorpios really kind of like, having the same type of frequency and vibe going on in the month of 2020. All right, Scorpio, moving forward, we have the Alchemist, otherwise known as the Magician, riding over the Prince of Swords. This is going to be in the work line of things. And so what I like about these two cards here, I'm getting the sense of a lot of like air type energy or Gemini type energy, I would like to say, because what sticks out to me in this Alchemist card or the Magician card is that sword up in the air, just kind of floating there over the altar. And you see the Magician there just kind of like really looking deep into what could possibly be, the Scorpio plans for the rest of the month, planning things out, really just possibly making some scheduling type work. I'm seeing a few of you Scorpios possibly working like in the nursing field or the medical field. And for some of you other Scorpios out there, possibly either in school or having to deal with some other types of organizations and really just trying to plan things out, having to go to meetings and keeping on top of these meetings. And making sure you are punctual to a lot of these types of events that are going on. And so riding over this Prince of Swords as well, actually getting down to this Prince of Swords, let's talk about that. This Prince of Swords also has the sword. And so what I like about this, it's kind of reminding me of the Gemini kind of energy, especially because these swords are sticking out so much. These are definitely air signs, and the Gemini is an air sign, and it's sticking out to me. So, definitely, having that sense of Gemini vibe to you, the frequency that Geminis carry, having a lot to do with using your mind a lot. Lots of thinking that's going on. But for the Scorpio, at the same token, the Scorpio mind is a little different. The Scorpio mind, aside from the Gemini mind, which is usually all over the place, usually, a Scorpio's thinking more than 2-3 things all at once. Whereas in the Scorpio mind is very orthodox, forward, straight thinking. And that is what makes a Scorpio very, very responsible and able to, adapt very quickly to getting things done in a very, very expedited fashion. So far into this reading, Scorpio, it seems like the month of November is really focused on work and the self, both in the extroverted sense of aside from the home and aside from the self, yet in the introverted sense of at the home and about the self, and just kind of like really expediting all around 360 degrees in a full circle all around you and within you. But again, going back to these swords and the Gemini, kind of frequency and the vibe, and what Geminis are very well known for is, the thought process of having more than one thing, planning more than one thing all at once, and having your mind in a lot of different places all at once. Kind of like the mind, the busybody of the mind, so to speak, if you will. That's really what we have going on with Scorpio, but yet in such a very profound, hardcore level. You're thinking very quickly and making mental notes, and keeping to those mental notes and getting the job done at the same time in all aspects of getting a job done. really liking that. Very focused, and it's a good feeling because this leaves again a lot of room for yourself to enjoy some more life in November, especially coming up with the November holiday of Thanksgiving. You got that on top of it coming up, and even though with the scamdemic being around, maybe not too many family members or friends coming over for the holidays, but yet for some of you Scorpios out there, just the immediate family, that meal alone is a lot of work. And for a lot of you Scorpios, I'm seeing a lot of you Scorpios taking a lot of pride in getting that meal, that Thanksgiving meal done all on your own. You take pride in just doing it all on your own and by yourself while you're sipping your glass of wine, and in the process of getting that turkey done and thrown in the oven and all the other fixings and delicacies and whatnot. And again, that's just being another part of making your list of how you're going to do things and expedite things, so that when that time comes, in the next few weeks, when that holiday comes around, you have enough time to do it, and you're not trying to, fit in things of work, left behind of your work schedule that you didn't get to, and trying to fit that in with your holiday, kind of relaxation. And then it end up being a stressful holiday, and you're not really looking forward to that at all. If anything, this scamdemic and having to work from home and having to adjust almost overnight, as if it was an always, a thing that's always just been done since day one, when it really hasn't. And that's not just for Scorpio, that's for everybody. Literally overnight you had to adjust like everybody else. But for Scorpio here, it just kind of like it was a climax for you, and it was an overrated thing that happened. And so now it's like a time of like, okay, now that you're in gear and you know how it's done and how you're going to go about it, now you're making your plans like this magician looking at his book, making the planner, and that's what I'm seeing. A lot of you Scorpios, having that daily planner, that monthly planner out, and really getting down to business and answering those emails now, and moving forward and striving forward. And with that said, we're going to go forward to this Fool, writing over the Four of Wands. So definitely by the end of November, embarking on new ideas of how to do things for yourself. And for some of you in the relationships, whether it's boyfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody included, marriages, really trying to kind of like, I'm seeing some of you Scorpios trying to just oomph up the marriage, oomph up the relationships, because I'm not really seeing any Scorpios here that are single. I'm not getting any single Scorpios. So for you Scorpios out there that are looking at this reading to see if anything will come up for you singles, sorry Scorpios, I hate to disappoint you, but I'm not really seeing that in my reading here. I'm seeing you Scorpios that are already involved romantically with somebody. And typically in my readings, it talks about all sorts of love. It's very rare that my readings for any sign at all specifically talks about relationships as to, romantic relationships or marriages. For Scorpio this month, and on this rare occasion, it is literally specifically talking about those Scorpios already involved in a relationship, in a marriage. And so with this Fool, definitely trying to oomph up the relationship, trying to figure out a way to kind of get out and about. And that's what I'm seeing with this Four of Wands. For a lot of you Scorpios out there, you're definitely going to be able to get out and about. But like this alchemist, reverting back to this alchemist, this magician, looking into your planner and also kind of planning something new out with the scamdemic. I see some of you all going online and seeing, what can we actually go out and do with this whole thing that's going on? What can we go out and do as a couple, as a romantic set, that we've never really done before? But with this whole scamdemic going on right now, what is allowable? What will be open doors for us to go and have some new experiences together as a romantic team, as partners? So definitely in the love line of things, I definitely see some of you Scorpios out there trying to get this, brought into the forefront and being very forthcoming about it. And so definitely some of you Scorpios, I would definitely say, get on your phones, Google it up in your local areas. Even if you have to, if you can, for those of you that are very financially secure, you may want to go ahead and plan a day or two at your local resort type hotel, very nice lavish hotel, get yourself a suite. And that could be your in town, in the city type of a vacation, and get yourself a romantic suite and just treat yourselves out, and have your glasses of wine, your champagne, fancy breakfast, lunch, or dinners, and do yourselves up. You all deserve it, and y'all definitely need it. So definitely, I see you Scorpios trying to figure that out. So go online, figure out what you can do, what's available out there, especially for the romantic Scorpios involved already in a relationship, as a couple, getting together, going on dates, or even already involved in marriages and trying to oomph up the marriage, trying to spice it up. Go online and see what's available out there with this whole scamdemic that's going on, because it's definitely changed a lot of things and how to go out and have a good, awesome date with the one that you love, your significant other. Definitely some looking into that you're going to have to do. Moving forward, to end your tarot reading, we have the Star crowning over the Queen of Swords. I'm getting the sense of some of you Scorpios out there kind of looking into some health beneficial type foods, kind of looking online or thinking about going online and trying to introduce a little bit of healthier stuff into your diet because of the scandemic, and trying to find things. I'm getting the sense of like antioxidants. I don't know why I'm seeing blueberry, something about blueberries or bayberries or something like that. I don't know. Y'all would know when you look it up. But that's what I'm seeing in the health line of things. And it's definitely going to make you feel a little bit more, not so much like a good, half a pot of coffee should make you look, but over some time of consuming a steady amount of these types of berries into your diet, you consume them, it will begin to build up within your system and you will begin to start feeling a bit better. So that's very interesting. So definitely look into blueberries or bayberries, I think they're called. That's what's coming up for me with this Star and this Queen of Swords. You should definitely start to feel healthy enough like this Queen of Swords, and you see like these butterflies roaming all around her, and she's very astute and awake, sitting up and proper. And then you got the Star over here, and this is going to really begin to become the new form of the Scorpio at the end of November going into December, replenished, very enthusiastic, and going back to this Hermit and the King of Cups, and also the High Priestess and the Three of Wands. How we started about kind of that introspection of just relaxation, self-preservation of sorts, and regrouping yourself. By the end of November, you should definitely feel and look a bit like this Queen of Swords for some of you Scorpios out there, ready to take on the world and sitting back in your power, dressed, up and proper, and just, doing it up. All right, Scorpio, that's what I have for you for the month of November 2020. I will see you again in December, God willing. If you would like to book a personalized reading with me, get at me, drop me an email at theguardowl@gmail.com, and we will get you scheduled. Thank you for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in November.